Adishtam Senushasana
Tanme Dharma Britam Shrestha
Tanme Dharma Britam Shrestha
Sthanam Nirdeshtamarhasi
Sthanam Nirdeshtamarhasi
Yatraiva Niyato Vatsya
Yatraiva Niyato Vatsya
Atistamste Nushasana
Adishtam Senushasana Tanme Dharma Britam Shrestha Tanme Dharma Britam Shrestha Sthanam Nirdeshtamarhasi
Sthanam Nirdeshtamarhasi
Yatraiva Niyato Vatsya Yatraiva Niyato Vatsya Adishtam Senushasana Adishtam Senushasana Tanme Dharma Britam Shrestha Tanme Dharma Britam Shrestha Sthanam Nirdeshtamarhasi
Sthanam Nirdeshtamarhasi
Yatraiva Niyato Vatsya Yatraiva Niyato Vatsya Adishtam Senushasana Adishtam Senushasana
Tat
Tat
Therefore May
me
Dharma Britam
Dharma Britam
of all the protectors of religion
all the protectors of religion
Shrestha
Shrestha
O chief
O chief
Sthanam
place
Nirdeshtum
Nirdeshtum
fix
fix
Arhasi may you do so
may you do so
Yatra where
Eva
certainly
certainly
Niyata always Vatsye can reside Atistam permanently situated Te your Anusasanam under your rule. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Therefore, O Chief, among the protectors of religion, please fix some place for me where I can live permanently under the protection of your government. So this is another Kali Vacha. Purport. The personality of Kali addressed as the chief amongst the protectors of religiosity because the king refrained from killing a person who surrendered unto him. He was happy with that. A man of religion. A surrendered soul should be given all protection, even though he may be an enemy. That is the principle of religion. And we can just imagine what sort of protection is given by the personality of Godhead, Krishna, to the person who surrenders unto him, not as an enemy, but as a devoted servitor. The Lord protects the surrendered soul from all sins and all resultant reaction of sinful acts. Bhagavad Gita 18:66. Om Jnana Tamanandasya Gnanjana Salakaya Chaksharam Natam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurve Yat Kripa Tadaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatadam Vanchikapa Fibrisha Kripa Sindhudeva Chapatitanam Vaishnavi Vyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So here in this purport, Prabhupada mentions the surrendered soul. So we're trying to be surrendered souls. Big challenge. Krishna says, Yayatamam papajyante, tam sataya bhujamya, mama vatmardavartante, manusya partha sarvas. He says, all of them, as they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So this is a path of selfless service. There's selfish service and there's selfless. Just like there's people all over there, people are working for their boss or company and they're doing service. But they're doing service for money. They're serving the money, not the boss. They might have a nice relationship, but when the money stops coming, it's over. So people are serving money all over the world. So we're trying to serve Krishna. Better to serve Krishna, right? And therefore we're taking guidance from seniors who can guide us in service to Krishna, the spiritual master. It's described that there's 4 types of disciples. The first class disciple, he knows what the spiritual master wants, and he does it without even being asked. And Prabhupada said that Shrutikirti, he was the highest standard of servants that he had. He had that mood. He could sense Prabhupada what he wanted. Prabhupada didn't have to tell him. He would do it. Prabhupada was very pleased. Second class disciple, Guru tells him to do something, and he does it very enthusiastically. Third class, spiritual master tells him to do something, and he does it, but, okay. Not very enthusiastic. And the fourth class disciple doesn't do it. So these are different types of disciples. It's not easy to be a first class disciple in Kali Yuga. Generally, we're good disciples of our mind, our senses. Whatever the mind says, yes, sir. Or so yesterday I was distributing books, and the one man he wanted to take a book, but his wife said, and he said, "Sorry, got to follow the boss." Yeah. So better to be servant of Krishna. He's Kartamisha. He's the boss. He's the supreme boss. Better to follow the supreme boss, Krishna, and we'll get a good return. If we surrender to Krishna, we'll get a good return. So this chanting of Hare Krishna, this is what helps us to become servants of Krishna. We become good citizens. We're trying to go back to the spiritual world. And in this world, there's a lot of dissension. People they're not serving the country, so there's prisons for such people, right? So we're trying to be good citizens in Krishna's kingdom, and Krishna will invite us back to the spiritual world if we become good citizens in his vision. Right? And there's no prisons. Now here, if someone commits a crime, if they commit a crime, they go to jail, right? If we surrender to Krishna, then we go to a place where there is no prisons. And we get complete freedom. By surrendering to Krishna, we get complete freedom. Everybody wants that, right? Freedom. So that's the only place where you get complete freedom. There's no modes of nature. We're not bewildered by the modes of nature. So the more we surrender to Krishna, the more we please Krishna. And we become free of fear. One time a reporter asked Prabhupada, "So what do you get out of this chanting?" And Prabhupada replied, "I have no fear. No, we become free of fear." Sometimes people will say, "Well, I don't have any fear. I'm fearless." But then you put a gun to their head, and like, all of a sudden you see the fear come out. So this is one of the problems of material life. There's so much fear. But we should also have fear of Maya. Have a healthy fear of Maya. in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it stated, Nihayat karma dharmaya na viragaya kavana tirthapada sevaya jivan matimtoisa. That if one's work, nihayat karma dharmaya, does not bring one to dharma, if one's dharma does not bring one to renunciation, and if one's renunciation does not bring one to devotional service, one is considered to be dead, although breathing. So this renunciation is so important. Of course, we don't want to just renounce, we also want to be attached to Krishna. We don't want to, just like Prabhupada, there was one sannyasi, Prabhupada was trying to instruct a sannyasi to do something, he wouldn't do it. And Prabhupada said, you're so renounced, you've renounced the order of your spiritual master. So there's certain things we don't want to renounce, you know. We don't want to renounce Krishna, and the spiritual master, and instructions of Krishna. So yeah, we have to take these to heart and keep them. So this verse gives also an understanding that once we surrender to Krishna, then Krishna, he gives protection. He'll protect us. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Mahatmanas tamam partha daivarin prakritimash pujanchinana malaso gyatva bhutadi amirya. All of them, no, those who are not deluded, the great souls, under the protection of the divine nature, they're fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. So those who are not deluded, practically everybody is deluded in this world by Maya, bewildered by Maya. So these are the great souls, Mahatmas. So we're trying to become Mahatmas, servants of Krishna. Yeah. So this is pure goodness. There's goodness and there's pure goodness. So what's the difference between goodness and pure goodness?
There's no passion or ignorance in the goodness.
Yeah, it's beyond passion and ignorance, but also, it had something to say?
No.
Okay. The problem with the mode of goodness is you will become proud. I'm better than them. I'm vegetarian. I do yoga. I chant Hare Krishna. So pure goodness means there's no pride. Humble, very humble. Yeah. So, of course, it's not easy to come to the level of pure goodness, but it's something that we have to pray for protection from Maya. And therefore, in the Uddhava Gita, Krishna says to Uddhava, this is the continuation of the Bhagavad Gita, Prapanam parimam yasha bitam mrityu. Please protect me. Now Krishna's telling Uddhava how a devotee should pray to him in the form of the deity, which is interesting because Krishna, the deity, is telling Uddhava how to pray to him in the form of the deity. Please protect me who I'm trying to surrender unto you. I'm very fearful of this material existence, standing as I am in the mouth of death. The mouth of death, standing, we're in the mouth of death. At any time, anything can happen. Like now, Ambarish, she's had this stroke. Yeah. We should. Let's chant the Hare Krishna mantra for Ambarish. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada used to call him Ambarish Maharaj. He's done so much service. So much service. Helped so many temples, restaurants, now the TOVP. He's very humble. He's a very humble soul too. He gave Bhagavatam class once when I was there. Very nice, very humble. Generally, when someone's very wealthy, humility doesn't go along with that. He's very humble soul. He helped me get a Sankirtan vehicle one time. When I was a minister, I used to get vehicles for Sankirtan devotees all over the world. So he helped out. Very nice devotee. So also there's a pastime of a devotee, Arjuna Charya, who read this verse in the Bhagavad Gita, Ananyas Chintayantavam Yejana Paripatesam Nitya Yogeshena Ahamyaham. Yeah. Beautiful verse. Krishna says, those who worship me with exclusive devotion, meditate on my transcendental form, I carry what they lack and preserve what they have. So this is Arjuna Charya, he thought there must be a misprint. Krishna's carrying what we lack, that he's doing service for us. So he actually marked it off. Shamyaham. Yeah, he with a pen, he marked it. It must be a mistake. And then he told his wife he was going to go bathe and then come back and take prasad. And while he was gone, these two boys came to the house. One was of dark complexion, one was of fair complexion. And they were carrying these things that he was in need of. And, oh, your husband needed these things. And they knocked on the door and said to the lady, your husband needed these things, so here, we brought these for you. And he had marks on his face, cuts. He said, Mike, what happened to you? Oh, yeah, your husband did this to me. It's great, my husband is a qualified Brahmin. He would never do such a thing. Yeah, you could ask him. No, here, please, come in, we'll serve you some. No, your husband might come back. He might do it again. Here's some things, we got to go. So you can figure out who that was, right? So then when he came back, he said, so these boys came and they brought these things, and one of them, he had cuts on his face, and he said, you did it to him. What? Well, what did they look like? Well, one was of dark complexion, kind of bluish. I never saw a blue boy before. And the other one was whitish complexion. He had these cuts on his face. Bluish complexion. What else do you look like? He had black. It's beautiful. It's so beautiful. Black hair, beautiful. Lotus eyes, it's beautiful. He thought, uh-oh. That was Krishna. You saw Krishna. Because he explained the whole thing, that he saw that first, he had marked it out. So the Bhagavad Gita and Krishna are non-different. So he got that understanding. Krishna's so kind. And then he also saw that he brought things that he was in need of. He was doing service for him. He felt so bad, can you imagine? After I read that, I never write in the books. Of course, when you just write it on the side, maybe where there's no writing, it might be okay, but I don't take a chance. I don't. Better be careful. And there's another amazing pastime of Jayadev Goswami. He was writing, he wrote this beautiful song that we sing every morning, Lord Nrsimhadev, and the Das Avatar, many of this beautiful song. So he was a prolific writer, and he was writing, and the thought came to mind that Krishna becomes the humble servant of Radharani. And it just didn't sit right. Krishna becomes a servant. So then he thought, well, let me think about it. So I'll bathe and think about it. He told his wife, I'm going to go bathe again and come back and take prasad. So he went and he bathed. And when he came back, his wife was already honoring Prasad. And she had never done that before because she would always wait. You know, that was the standard. And I think that's still the standard, yeah, in India, that the wife waits until the husband and the children have all eaten. And sometimes there's a lot of prasadam left. That's why you see a lot of ladies that get they don't want to waste it. So he came back and he was surprised. And Devi, you're honoring prasadam. I'm surprised. She said, why? I didn't take prasadam. What do you mean? You came. You honored prasadam. You liked it. And then after you ate, you went into your room and you did some more writing. And then you stepped out. And now you're saying you didn't eat. And he's like, no, I'm hungry. I didn't eat. And you said I stepped into my room and wrote. So he went into his room and he saw it in golden letters written, Krishna becomes the humble servant of Radharani. In golden letters. So he was like, whoa, wow, that was Krishna. Disguise. Krishna can put on a good disguise. Yeah. She didn't even know, couldn't tell. It's like when Krishna manifests all the cowherd boys and the calves, the mothers couldn't tell because Krishna knows everyone's exact characteristic, everything. They look exactly the same. But they felt different because it was Krishna. That was Krishna. So he went into the room and said, Devi, I have a surprise for you. That wasn't me. That was Krishna. He came disguised and he wrote in my paper. And he honored the food you cooked. And now you're eating his remnants. Is there any left? So she got the mercy. So he understood Krishna becomes the menial servant of Krishna. Yeah. So this is what we want. We want to become the menial servants of Krishna. Yeah. Humble servants of Krishna. And this is the happiness of the soul. We have to surrender. Krishna explains the 4 types of people that surrender. Chatur Vidha Bhajante, Jana Sukutirad, Artha Gigyasa Arthati, Jnanicha Varadharsha. Those who are in distress. A lot of people in distress. I think that's the main reason people join. Isn't it? Distress. Yeah. There's a lot of distress. Yeah. And some people join because there's some wealth. You know, like Prabhupada said when he came to America, he had 40 rupees. Now he's got 40 crores. 40 crores, what is that? That's a lot. Within 10 years, he did this. So we became very wealthy. And people would even, sometimes they would complain that you people, you're not working, but you got all these cars and you got, you got these nice buildings. You know. And Prabhupada would say, well, you also don't have to work. You can come and join us. No. They won't join. So we are working, but we don't work as hard as the karmis. Like I met one guy on book distribution. He said he works 3 jobs. Mm-hmm. Imagine 3 jobs. He said his wife has some disease and he's got to work extra to pay for the medical bills. They're called workaholics. Also, there's workaholic. They work so hard. Of course, to be a workaholic for Krishna, that's okay. Like this, I heard about this one devotee in Hawaii. he would only sleep 4 hours a night, and he would be working all day long working. Workaholic for Krishna, that's okay. So this is one type of person that surrenders to Krishna. And then some people, they surrender to Krishna because of wealth, because of distress, because of knowledge. Some people, they join because they want knowledge. That's rare. That's pretty rare. They want to know, what is the absolute truth? Why am I here? What's the goal of life? That's rare. Any of you come because of that? Looking for knowledge. And then the other one, the last one, is inquisitive. It's like, I was just hearing yesterday, Prabhu, he had seen one devotee. He was in Dodi and Kirtan, and he was very peaceful. He was very calm, and he's very quiet and gentle. And he was thinking, I want to be like this. So he got some books, and he was inquisitive. You want to know, what do these people believe, so they can be so nice. So people sometimes are inquisitive. They see us on book distribution, or they see us on Harinam, and they want to find out. Or they get a book, and they're a little inquisitive. They want to find out what this is about. And that's good. Very good. And then there's different types of people who don't surrender to Krishna. Naman duskutino mudha prabhujante. Maya patika asuram ashrata. Those who are grossly foolish. There's a lot of those. Grossly foolish. Just, don't put that trip on my head. I don't want to hear all this. Just grossly foolish. Just meat eaters and sex mongers and just do all kinds of nonsense. So grossly foolish, lowest of mankind. There's a lot of those too. Lowest of mankind. Knowledge is stolen by illusion. These are the intelligentsia, intelligence. Mind, their knowledge is stolen by illusion. Very intelligent people, but bewildered. We have one nice, intelligent person who joined here, Chuck. Bhakti Chuck. He's a professor at Stanford. Yeah. Nice devotee. That's pretty rare for a professor at such a prestigious school to be a devotee. It's amazing and very rare. There was one instance in Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur where one professor he wanted to join. He had got some books or something, and he wanted to join the ashram. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati said, "Yes, you're welcome. So what's my service? Go to the kitchen, wash pots." That was the service that everyone did for a year, just to help develop humility. So washing pots is good. Helps to develop that humility. So he's a big professor, washing pots. So some of his colleagues came to visit him, and they asked the devotees, there was one professor here that joined, can you tell us where his office is? Or where, we'd like to see him. Oh, yeah, he doesn't have an office. Well, where is he? Oh, he's in the kitchen. He's in the kitchen. He's washing pots. And the professor, he said, "Oh yeah, this is great. This is great. This is what I need. Some humility." And they were shocked. But humility is so important, and this is why he would do that. First year, everybody's introduced to Krishna's pots. And Krishna's mercy, when I first joined, they introduced me to Krishna's paths. And I'm still watching paths. That's good. It's good. Yeah. We need the cleansing. A lot of cleansing. And yeah, the people that are looking for knowledge, that's very rare. People looking for the absolute truth. Those are the ones we're looking for. Yeah. So, we'll stop a little early. Any question, comment, correction? Yes.
I appreciate the point you mentioned about freedom. I was watching one video by Jocko Willink. He's an ex-Navy SEAL. He also wrote a book called Discipline is Freedom.
Discipline is freedom.
Yeah, and there was a small interview where the interviewer was telling, it sounds counterintuitive, but how can you explain it? And he said, yes, if you're not disciplined to exercise and eat right, you'll be a slave to disease. If you're not prompt with your time, disciplined with time, then you'll be a slave to time. And he gave the example of all these. Similarly, in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna calls them the regulative principles of freedom.
Yeah, regular principles of freedom.
Similar freedom. One is not disciplined in spiritual life, then he'll be a slave to material life.
Yeah. So following these regular principles help us to become free.
Mm-hmm.
And if we don't follow them, then we're still bound to the material nature. So nobody likes to be bound. Sometimes people are bound in their ankles, hands. Very uncomfortable situation. Or the people are behind bars. Terrible. I remember when I was growing up, there was one person who I knew he was doing something. He was drunk and doing some nonsense, and they put him in the police car, and he was kicking the windows and kicking the ceiling. He just didn't want to. It's very uncomfortable to be bound. Nobody wants it. Yeah. So this is how to be free. Practicing Krishna consciousness is how we become free of this material nature. Thank you. Yeah. Anything else? Anything online?
Yes, Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Look who's there. Louise Money, come to Carnival World on traveling Sankirtan.
My last days.
Huh?
This is our last days. We're coming back on Monday.
Oh yeah, you're on your way. You'll be back on Monday.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. We're missing you.
Prabhu, you mentioned this prayer by Uddhava to Lord Krishna. Please save me from this material existence, standing as I am in the mouth of death.
Yeah.
So I mean, in general, in daily course of activities, I don't have that mood. But I mean, if I meditate on it, I guess I want to ask about fearlessness. I'm still fearful of death. You mentioned that one becomes fearless by following this process of chanting Hare Krishna. But if somebody puts a gun on my head, I will be fearful also. So how is that a devotee becomes fearless?
Well, when we realize that we're the soul, then Nainam Chindanti Sastrani, Nainam Dihati Pavaka, Nachainam Pudinachava, the Swasti Maruta. That the soul can't be destroyed by any weapon. A gun can't kill you. You can't be destroyed by a weapon. You can't be burned by fire, moistened by water, or withered by the wind. And as far as protection, I mean, we're on book distribution, so we see a lot of Maya out there. So you better be good at praying for protection. But you gotta do, because there's a lot of Maya out there. Maya goes out there, and some of these girls out there just like half dressed. It's not good for us brahmacharis. So we got to pray for protection. Otherwise, we get pulled down by Maya. There's an amazing Prabhupada. Prabhupada was with one servant, and he said, Maya can't take me away. Maya cannot bewilder me. And Prabhupada's very grave, he said like that. And then later in the day, he saw Prabhupada praying to the deities, fervently. And this devotee was close to Prabhupada. And so he said, Prabhupada, if you don't mind me asking, I saw you praying so fervently to the deities. If you don't mind me asking, what were you praying for? And Prabhupada said, I was praying for protection from Maya. But Prabhupada just said, you can't be swayed by Maya. Yeah, that's because I'm praying for protection. I'm always praying for protection from Maya. So if Prabhupada's like that, what to speak of ourselves? We have to pray like anything for protection from Maya. Were you going to say something, Vij?
Yes, I know that you always have something very nice that when you observe people in Sankirtan, you always meditate on something that helps you to realize that, all these people are not their body. These people are actually forgetful of Krishna. So maybe you could share with us what's something that you're meditating on lately on book distribution.
Well, I've been meditating on how, it's this body is just a bunch of elements, but there's the soul within. So I try to understand as I'm speaking to that I'm a soul speaking to another soul. Try to go beyond the body. It's a nice meditation. And lately I've been also praying to Krishna to have compassion. Because if we have compassion, then we become free of attachment to the results. We become attached to the results and different things because of the bodily conception of life and not having compassion. If we have compassion, then you step over all this garbage. Because compassion, real compassion, is on a spiritual platform. It's not on a material platform. There's material compassion where people are going down there feeding the poor and giving homeless people a place to stay, but there's transcendental compassion, spiritual compassion. So I've been trying to catch that spiritual compassion, which is something we need. I had an interesting experience yesterday. I was speaking to one gentleman, and he was interested, but he said, I'm going on a walk, so I don't want to carry all these books. So can I get them when I'm going to be going by here on the way back? Can I get them on the way back? I said, yeah, sure, no problem. We never see them people again, right? Never see them again. But this guy came back, and not only did he come back, he said, I really appreciate what you're doing. And he gave a $100 donation also.
Yeah, Haribol.
It's really rare. Both of them are very rare. That he came back, and then also on top of that, he gave a nice donation. So I think Krishna was appreciating that I was praying for some compassion. And just within that short time, just like I was working in front of a business that was, I thought it was closed, but it wasn't closed. They're actually open. So I was thinking, oh man, these guys are going to ask me to leave. So two of the people that worked there, they came to my table, and I thought, oh, here we go. And they said, oh, you have some books here. What kind of books you got? So I was showing them the books, and they bought books. I was like shocked, yeah. And on top of that, they were Chinese people. That's really rare. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, the nice people, but very rarely do they take books. You know, yeah, it was nice. It's a nice experience. Book distribution is just it's too much ecstasy. You know.
Yeah.
You're experiencing, yeah. Also, you have an experience the ecstasy of book distribution.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
Prabhu.
Vijay.
Yes.
Jay, say yes.
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 Okay. Okay, we'll over now. Thank you.